Hey everyone, I'm 95 Fathoms, here with another hunt in my Triple Team quest, a shiny hunting endeavor in which I've hunted across 2 copies of HeartGold and 1 of SoulSilver for a full 3 teams of shinies. Having finished up the Johto leg of this quest, I decided to hunt for the post-game Kanto starters from Professor Oak, which is something I'd wanted to do for a while because I love the Kanto starter sprites in these games. However, I struggled to find a way to fit this into some kind of a quest because these only become available to you after beating Red, making it borderline impossible to use them for anything except maybe the Battle Frontier, and usability is always front of mind for me with shiny hunting. I want to have some kind of adventure with my shinies once I've found them. The remaining option is to hunt them on completed save files and then trade them over. So, having defeated the Elite Four with my initial 3 teams of 6, I've hunted the Kanto starters on these 3 post-game files to then use on my quest files. Initially, this was going to act as a capstone hunt to this quest, with these 3 simply replacing the Johto starter on each of my initial teams. However, as I've been finally getting all of the videos from this quest edited and posted, I've been thinking about how much I really loved the structure of this quest, and wishing I'd made more space for some other interesting targets, particularly some of the hunts unique to the post-game and to Kanto specifically, that are less hunted due to being locked there. I finished hunting this trio about 4 months ago now, but I've kept pretty busy in my non-shiny hunting time by focusing on finally getting all of my videos edited and uploaded, so my quest files have still basically just stepped off of the SS Aqua into Kanto. So I realized if I wanted to do a whole new post-game triple team quest, there was nothing stopping me from changing my plans and adding that. So rather than a capstone, this is now a fresh start for these files in Kanto. As for the hunt at hand, this is a pretty basic soft reset, but there is one slight optimization. If you enter Oak's lab for the first time after beating Red and pick a starter without leaving, you'll walk over to him during part of the dialogue, adding a second or two between text boxes. But for whatever reason, if you have the initial conversation where he offers you the starter and then leave and re-enter the lab, your character stays in place the whole time. As I said, it adds seconds at most, but that can add up over the course of a long hunt, and there's no real reason not to do it. With all that said, I will see you with the first shiny of this trio. Oh, shiny Charmander! Whoa, what? Oh my god. Wow, why did that scare me so badly? Oh my god. Shiny Charmander! Alright, so this came after only 1,116 SRs, so pretty far under odds. Obviously, I had some pretty bad luck on my Rocket HQ targets on this quest, but I still feel like I'm, do some more average hunts. So getting one as fast as this feels pretty insane. This is on my original HeartGold file, or sorry, my original HeartGold cartridge. It's not the first file that has been on the cartridge, but it has been on this cartridge for many years now. It's kind of a neat ID too. It's like almost, if it had just been 1-3 instead of 0-1, it would have been odd numbers. It would have been a pretty cool ID, but that doesn't really matter anyway. It's not like I reset for it. But yeah, this is my first shiny Charmander that matters. Wow, it doesn't really look, Lyra, I don't want to talk to you right now. I don't know why you're calling me, but please stop. Doesn't look super different on the overworld. I mean, I imagine it looks much darker orange if you're used to what Charmander looks like. I am, of course, not, so I can't speak to it. But yeah, I've gotten Charmander in Pokemon Go, but that doesn't really count. And I did a Masuda hunt I did all the Kanto starters actually back in Gen 8 in like, I don't know, sometime late 2024 because I couldn't record shiny hunts at the moment. And I don't know, I just felt like doing a casual playthrough through Gen 8 and I didn't want to do it with not shinies. So, but this is my first full odds Charmander, my first one that really, I don't know, I'm very excited about, so. There he is. He is male. That's obviously expected, but I've gotten a good number of shiny starters now, and I have never gotten a female shiny starter. I've gotten 2 shiny female EVs, but that's pretty expected for the number of shiny EVs I've gotten overall, because I've gotten 12, I think, of them. I mean, it's not expected, but it's not crazy. But I've gotten, I forget the number of starters. I'm hoping one of these 3 Kanto starters ends up being a female, but it is what it is. I'm fine with Charmander being male, but I'm very excited to get the first one of this trio. I was a little bit hoping Bulbasaur shined first, and also hoping it would be last, because Bulbasaur is my favorite of the trio, and I want it to shine on the specific file that I've been hunting it on. So I'm gonna double up on Squirtle, even though, I mean, that probably just means Squirtle is gonna shine faster, and Bulbasaur is gonna be triple hunted, so it's even more cutting my chances on getting it on that specific save file. But yeah, this is very exciting to get the first one of the trio. I was not expecting to get one so soon, but I'll have to sub in another save file, obviously, because I can't hunt another starter on this same save file. And I will jump into the hunt again, and I'll see you with the next shiny, whether that be Bulbasaur or Squirtle. Shiny Squirtle! What? Oh my god! Holy crap, that was so fast. I mean, it wasn't, obviously took a little longer than Charmander, but I just got Charmander a few days ago. Dude, okay, I guess we're switching over to a single screen, and it shined on that right game that that has the Squirtle border and everything, so that's nice. All right, Squirtle is the second of the Kanto starter trio to shine after only 2,296 SRs, which, as I said, is pretty fast. Obviously, yeah, Charmander shined first, but I just found Charmander on Tuesday and it's Friday, so it's been a few days, and I haven't hunted that much the past couple of days. Well, I hunted a decent bit yesterday, not as much on Wednesday. So pretty cool that another one shined already, although I'm hoping this isn't a bad omen for my Bulbasaur hunt, that it's going to be a repeat of my FireRed LeafGreen Bulbasaur that went to 31,000. Though this is a faster hunt than FireRed LeafGreen, so it's not too bad. But Squirtle is one of the trio that Bulbasaur is easily my favorite, but in this particular hunt, I think Squirtle is one of the coolest to find because it's so different in Gen 4 and Gen 5 compared with every other generation. It's got a darker blue tint in addition to that green shell. It's a good shiny, I would say, in most generations, though I think it's just not as good in 3D. But I think it's just a unique coloring that it gets compared with like FireRed LeafGreen. So it's cool to do it in these games to get the different coloring. I really like that dark blue. The Squirtle is hasty natured. I forgot I could just look at this screen and looked up the translation for it, but it's hasty, which I don't think is very good for it because Blastoise is pretty bulky and not very fast. Also, I forgot to comment on my Charmander's nature. It was bold, which isn't great for it. I think it's less detrimental because Charmander is better as a special attacker. Like, it can be a mixed attacker, or you could just go full physical because its physical attack isn't that bad. But hasty is, I think, pretty unfortunate for Squirtle, but like, it's fine. You know, it is what it is. I'm very excited to get this. Let's look at that overworld sprite. I will say something that I noticed while I was doing this hunt: the Pokeball sprites on the tables seem to like be a layer over your player characters. So you notice that when I'm walking into it, the Pokeball is overlapping with my character's head, which is a very interesting thing that like I just happened to notice. I mean, I don't think you see it on the male character because Lyra's got her giant hat. Anyway, enough about that. Look at the shiny Squirtle. You see the green shell and everything. This one definitely looks shiny. Charmander was a little subtler on the overworld sprite, though. Looking back at the footage, I was like, no, that looks shiny for sure. I mean, I obviously know it is, but it's very exciting. I didn't even remember having a Repel on, but I guess it's good that I wore it out. Let's show him off in battle. It is another male starter. Again, that is expected, but this is now my 15th shiny starter overall, excluding my Gen 2 Chikorita, which doesn't count. God, that green shell looks so good. Such a cute little back spray. My Gen 2 Chikorita doesn't count because it can't be female. Gen 2 Pokemon with a 1 in 8 female ratio cannot be shiny and female. But I've gotten 15 shiny starters otherwise between all the generations I've hunted starters in, and none of them have been female. So female Bulbasaur would be really nice to get. It would, if I don't get it, then I'm at double odds for a female starter, but it's not a deal breaker. It's not what I'm going for. It would just be fun. But yeah, so I guess I'm gonna triple up on Bulbasaur. I pretty much expected that would be the case. Statistically, excuse me, it is. But I was hoping, this is my old SoulSilver DTQ file, so I kind of wanted the Bulbasaur to shine on that one because that's a special file to me. But it is what it is, and I could single hunt it, and I honestly thought about it, but this quest has been all about triple hunting everything. Everything has been across 3 games, across the board. There have been hunts on this quest where I was like, it would be much cozier to hunt this on only 2 games or only 1 game. But I'm committed to the bit here, so I gotta do the triple hunting thing. So I'm gonna triple hunt it. I'm not gonna say I hope Bulbasaur shines quickly because these two came so fast, and honestly, I have other projects that I need to that I'm more focused on clearing out before clearing out these hunts. But I also would prefer not to go to 30,000. But if it happens, it happens. So anyway, one way or another, I will see you in the final shiny of the trio. My favorite of the Kanto starters, and I guess that's a good way to end it off. But I'll see you whenever that happens. Shiny Bulbasaur! Oh my god! It did not shine on the DTQ file that I was hoping it would shine on. But there it is. Shiny Bulbasaur. Wow. Wow. Okay. Alright, after only 4,533 SRs, Bulbasaur, the last of the Kanto starter trio, shines. And interestingly enough, actually, each one of these shined at approximately twice what the previous one did. Charmander was at like 1,100, and then Squirtle was at like 2,300, and then Bulbasaur was at like 4,500. Obviously, it's not exact, but, 1,100 two times would be 2,200, and then, 2,300 times two would be 4,600. And this was, it was on the way to 4,600. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting because I noticed that pattern, and it was like, it would be funny if Bulbasaur did the same thing, and then it basically did. So anyway, also funny is that I was just like, while I was hunting, rewatching my my footage from the last two shinies, trying to remember everything I said and trying to think of like what I would want to say once Bulbasaur shined, and then suddenly like I finished rewatching it, and then 2 minutes later, Bulbasaur shows up, and there it is. Oh, it's so cute. Look at it. Why is there always somebody calling me right after I get a shiny? Probably because I left it in the pause menu for too long while I was setting this up. Anyway, that's such a cute overworld sprite, even ignoring the fact that it's shiny, which it looks great. But it has been a minute since I got Squirtle. Not that long, but considering how like relatively few SRs it took, it's been a crazy. I took a force. I was forced not to hunt for like a week and a half because there was a million things going on, and so I finally got back to shiny hunting yesterday again, and it's a welcome relief to get a shiny. It's almost like I put my hunts. When you put your hunts in timeout, sometimes you get lucky, but I didn't really put them in timeout. Life put me in timeout, so. I did look up, I checked the nature. I checked the status screen first to make sure, because if it was neutral, I was going to have to translate it. And it's lax, which is fine, I guess. It's plus defense minus special defense. Venusaur's two best stats are special attack and special defense. So it lowers one of its best stats, but like all of its stats are like reasonably good. So it sort of like balances out its defensive stats to probably make them about even. So its special defense isn't as good as it would normally be, but its defense is a little better than it would normally be. I don't know. It's fine. It's, it doesn't really matter anyway. I always pay attention to these natures, and like also I don't know anything about competitive battling, so I probably make myself sound like an idiot being like, oh, I think that's good for this thing, and it's like definitely not. But oh god, that green, I love that green. It looks so good. But I try to analyze. I try to look at the natures and be like, oh, is this good for it or not? Just because it's an interesting thing to comment on. You know, it doesn't matter for an in-game playthrough. Also, this actually does make a bingo for me for 2025. I didn't do any shiny bingos until last year, and I try to take it extremely unseriously because I feel like if you handle the bingo too seriously, then it just becomes unfun because you force yourself to do hunts you might not otherwise do. Anyway, so like I basically put everything on there that like I knew I would be hunting in the first place, because I don't want to feel obligated to hunt stuff that I wasn't planning to hunt in the first place, or like, you know, 3 million different things that like would be on different quests. Like I don't want to start multiple new quests at once, so I don't want to push myself to do that. But this does make a bingo, so that's fun. That's the first time I've gotten shiny bingo since I've only done 2 bingo boards, and last year was a mess for the last like 4 months, so I really was limited in how much I could shiny hunt. But yeah, it's so fun to get another shiny Bulbasaur. This is the only one of the Kanto starter trio I had hunted before, and I did it in LeafGreen, and that hunt, as I've alluded to, was an ordeal. It was kind of wild. It was my longest hunt for a while, and it still feels like one of the most iconic shiny hunts I've done, but nobody except for me and my friend Michelle, who I regaled with constant updates about it, really is like aware of it because I didn't record it. I definitely feel like I need to go back and do the LeafGreen Bulbasaur hunt again at some point to record it, but it won't be the same, which is a shame, but it is what it is. Anyway, I obviously I'm gonna do the triple show off as I've been doing. I'll show off the evolutions and everything too, but there's Bulbasaur. All right, I've got all of the starters traded over to the respective triple team quest file that I plan to use them in, and I'm ready to do the triple show off. Here they all are on the summary screen here. They look great together. And here I am in New Bark Town, getting ready to head off on my Kanto journey. I mean, I'll do that from Olivine, but whatever. Feels like a good place for the new start of Kanto, since I haven't actually ventured into Kanto yet. Here all of them are in their cute little overworld sprites, especially, I'm sorry, I'm biased because I love Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur is my original starter, so I'm always going to have more attachment to Bulbasaur, but I'm biased, but it definitely looks the cutest on the overworld, I think. But let's get everybody into the grass and show them off. Regular Sentret, and regular Rattata, and shiny Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle. They look phenomenal. I'm so excited to use them in these games. I'll also include the footage of these 3 evolving so you can see that, but as always, best of luck on all of your hunts, and take care.